My 19 female boyfriend, 21 male, asked if I would get plastic surgery on my jaw. I think we're over? My boyfriend asked last night if I would ever consider jawline surgery for my Asian jawline. I'm honestly disgusted. I have been with him for a year and there have never been red flags like this before. I now don't know if this is like some dark side of him he hid from me or just a really clumsy slip of the tongue. Either way, I'm having trouble calming down and my friends are being zero help. How can I ask him questionos to find out what he really meant? How can I move on or look at this with a silver lining? Why would he ever say this? Too long did not read. My boyfriend asked if I would get plastic surgery on my jaw. A partner should never ask the other person to get plastic surgery on anything. Number 1, leave him. Number 2, WTAF is an Asian jawline? What the fuck is an Asian jawline? And DTMFA. The fact that he called it an Asian jawline is reason enough to end it. I'm assuming you're Asian and he's not. He sees you as other. I don't blame you for being disgusted. Why does it matter what he really meant? What are you getting out of this relationship that makes you willing to stay in it given this kind of question? So far as moving on, just chalk this guy up to one of those mistakes we all make in our 20s. For Christ's sake, Trump hasn't even taken presidency yet and these men are just like fucking losing their brains already. This is not okay thing to ask a woman. This is A, racist. B, misogynistic. C, narcissistic. D, devaluating. Let's try this on for size. Hey hun, you ever gonna get that big black dick surgery? Oh, that doesn't sound right? So weird. My 24F fiance, 24M, says worrisome things about our son. What would you do in this situation? My 24M fiance and I have been together for almost 8 years, engaged for a year, and we have a 7-month-old baby boy. He's had a pretty rough time so far, was super colicky due to his multiple food allergies for the first 4-ish months, and even now he's a pretty unhappy baby. Constantly whining, can't be put down ever. However, I love my son more than life itself and wouldn't change him for the world. A few months ago we were talking about what would happen if I were to pads away, hypothetical, and he said he would put him up for adoption. This stayed on my mind for months and really bothered me. Today, he said, if there was one word to describe my feelings towards him it would be regret. This broke my heart and now I can't stop thinking about it. He's not a bad father, but I always pictured myself with someone who really loved being a dad, and he seemingly doesn't. Are these comments normal or am I blowing it out of proportion? What would you do or say in this situation? I look at my son and my heart breaks for him that he has a dad that thinks these things. Male PPD is also a thing. I will say that I know of a couple of people, male and female, who ended up really disliking the baby stage, particularly with a baby who is on the high end of the needs scale. They love their children dearly, and most have multiple, but the baby stage is their least favorite. It was usually toddler on that their true enjoyment of parenthood kicked in. Men can experience a type of PPD too. Maybe talk to him about seeing a doctor, going to therapy to discuss his feelings and work on his mental well-being. I mean, I hate to say this, but some people just aren't capable of being able to handle when a child has something wrong with them. Especially if the issue is multiple or severe. I suggest maybe talking to a family, marriage counselor if possible. I hope you're able to work through this together and that your baby grows up healthy. Has he been checked for PPD? Especially with a colicky baby it could happen. This is a tough stage for a lot of parents. I hope when your son is more mobile and engaging your partner forms a stronger bond. Be on the lookout for comments made in front of your child, him ignoring your child or mocking him when he's hurt or in distress, or generally negative attitudes about your child. No one loves all the parts of parenting, but there are some things we simply don't do or allow, no matter what. How do I, 42 female, get my husband, 44 male, to see how hurtful it is, what his friend said? How do I get my husband to see how hurtful it is, what the friend said and his silence following it? My husband, Jack, 44 male, and I, Sally, 42 female, have been married for almost 20 years, had our ups and downs like everybody I guess. But since about 6 years we reconnected with an old friend, James, 40 male, and my husband and him became best buddies. Shoddily enough, James is not a kind person. Very sexist, very racist, a lot of bad stuff. I've never known my husband to be that, but he goes along with it. Today James has brought me to tears. I had been gaining a lot of weight since I turned 40, so last January I started eating better, working out more, and because of that losing some weight. I haven't been this fit since before my kids, so I am feeling good about myself right now. Lost 20 kilograms, 44 pounds, and am at 68 kilograms, 149 pounds. James came over today and started commenting on my appearance, questions and comments like, "How much more are you going to lose? You should lose way more. You're looking really fatty right now." And my husband did nothing, said nothing, and snickered. I'm just so angry at the both of them and even more at my husband. If I'll talk to him he'll just laugh it off, he's just joking, he means no harm. That kind of stuff. How do I get my husband to see how hurtful it is? What the friend said in his silence following it. English is not my first language, so excuses the mistakes. TLTR. I'm angry at husband for not stopping his friend from body shaming me. Your husband understands exactly how you feel. He doesn't care. No explanation will change that. Most of us end up putting emotional and physical distance between us and people who don't care about us for our own safety. He may value your physical safety, or be willing to change in order to keep the relationship, but he's perfectly happy for you to be ridiculed if he can keep you serving him as his wife. Girl, I hope you take your new hot body and find yourself someone who appreciates you. Your husband is not it. When you do talk to your husband, and he says, he was just joking, ask, how is that funny? It isn't a joke if it is mean, demeans a person, is directed at a person. And it certainly isn't a joke if the target isn't laughing. I'm sorry you're dealing with these two assholes. Congratulations on your success with your weight goals. You should be proud. And yes, set boundaries. James isn't allowed around anymore. One way to show him how hurt you are is him coming home to his things packed outside the main door. He would only be allowed to come in again when he and his buddy apologize. And if James says something again like that, you just have to say that you can stop being fat or whatever he accuses you of being. But he will never stop being a stupid asshole because he was born that way. Basically talk to your husband in a calm environment and make sure he hears you and listen when you're telling him about his friend body shaming you. He should stand up for you over his friend because you're his partner. Honestly sis, 20 years together and your husband didn't defend you? I'd give James a tongue lashing of a lifetime and make him feel how he makes you feel. You treat people how they treat you because you deserve respect. 30 female. Just found out my boyfriend, 31 male, downloaded Grindr. How to confront him. I was using my BF's computer and found out he downloaded and paid for Grindr about 2 weeks ago, and then he unsubscribed last week. We've been together for about a year now. He's never told me about any curiosity for playing in that field. I'm so confused. On top of this, I found out he recently unsubscribed to a transsexual account too. Apologies if I'm not using the correct term. I pulled that from the account info. His search history also included happy ending massage within the last month. I don't think I can keep this knowledge to myself. All of this makes me question if he's being loyal, to be honest. How can I best confront him about this? Edit. There's been so many responses and support. I'll try to make it through all of them tonight and give them some thought. White heart, thank you all. You don't want to get an STD from a cheater. Don't bother. Pack your things or his things, whoever needs to move out. Get an STD test. Move on. You go, hey, I know I wasn't supposed to dig through your stuff but I did anyways. My bad. Now why are you following trans porn and using Grindr? There you go, best of luck. I mean, he's cheating on you or at minimum is trying to. Don't be in denial here. Sounds like he found his side piece. Not sure if I would confront him or not. I would probably just politely leave and tell him to have fun. Then I would go straight to get tested for STDs.